This is an overview of the capabilities of Oracle Content and Experience Cloud. On the content side, you can manage digital assets, structured content, and documents. And on the experience side, you can create websites from your content. For documents, you can create files and folders and organize your documents and get access to features such as being able to see version history of a document and revert back to a previous version, see access history as to who has accessed, viewed, downloaded a particular version of the document, and do many other things, such as being able to create links to share content with other people, being able to reserve a document so other people can edit it. There's also a desktop sync client, so you can work in your desktop environment and all your changes and documents will get synchronized back to the cloud in addition to getting updates back to your desktop environment. From within documents themselves, you can also synchronize your changes to the cloud and get access to features like being able to share and get links, as well as being able to reserve your document. For digital assets, you have a more visual view of your assets, which could include images and media files, and you can tag your assets as well. For example, here I can search on all my coffee images, and you have a number of filtering criteria here, such as the type of content and status. Content types are more structured types of content that have different fields that comprise that content, the definition of that content. So for example, if we look at an article, you can see that there's some different fields here that need to be filled out to create a new article. And you can define many different types of content types depending on what you need. So for example, here, if we go into Manage Types, we can see the definitions that we already have, and you can see that each type has some different fields that comprise the definition of that content type. And each one, you can specify some additional information, such as how the person who creates this content needs to author that content, and some validation and other fields that can help ensure that the right content gets entered. Collections are groups of content that are used for a particular purpose. So for example, I might have a collection of content that I want to use in a particular campaign, like my aroma roast campaign, and it has a mixture of digital assets as well as structured content. And my content also can be collaborated on. So for example, here I can get a contextual conversation sidebar within the context of looking at my content. So here, these two team members can go back and forth and talk about changes that need to be made to this particular asset. It's easy to flag team members to let them know if this is an FYI or something urgent. That person would get a mobile notification if it's set up so they can respond right away. So there are a number of embedded collaboration features to make collaboration easier. In addition to that, if we go back to the collection, you can also submit your content for approval, so there's basic workflow capabilities embedded as well. There's also an accompanying mobile application for content and experience, so all of this content can be accessed easily from the mobile app, and you can participate in workflows, participate in conversations, all of that can take place on the mobile application. Once content has been created, you can use that content in any application, because content is not tied to any particular presentation. But if you want, you can create websites within content and experience as well. So if we go over to our experience side, we can see the sites that have already been created. If we click create, we get a selection of templates that we can use to create the site, and you can use our out-of-the-box templates or create your own templates. And we give the site a name. And basically what happens is that the system will take the template and create a basic stub site, if you will, so that whoever's creating the site doesn't have to start from scratch. They can start from a basic site and then start editing out the site to create the site that they want. Now that our site's been created, we can go in and edit the site. And first we need to provide an update, which basically is kind of like a container or a sandbox environment, so different users can be making changes to the site at the same time and not overwrite each other. And once we're in the site, we can put the site into edit mode, and all of the fields that are editable will show on the site. So I can come in and change the title, for example. And you can see some different things that you can edit here. If we add or expand out the components panel, you get a number of different out-of-the-box components that you're able to add to the site. So you have some basic structural components, document and image components, social components, etc. So for example, if I wanted to add let's add something like a map to the page. Here's a map component, and I get some grid lines as to where I can add my component. And in addition to that, there's some additional components, for example, section layout. So I can, for example, create a 3-column section or a 2-column section to structure my page more effectively. And you can also create your own custom components and get access to those as well. So that's just a quick overview. It's a very visual drag and drop environment. Your navigation is simple to manage. You can create new pages, add them to the site, but it gives you an easy way to create a site. So that's a very quick overview of the Oracle Content and Experience Cloud.